So next in our agenda, we will have actually a workshop. So I would like to invite Matti Kiviluoto to join me here on the stage. So next topic will be build your own diversity and inclusion agent game plan. So Matti, moi Matti, moi Vivi,
Hello.
moi Alena, and moi Maria. So Matti, we will have something really extraordinary happening in next 55 minutes. So can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Let me just share my screen first, then we can start. Come on. Got it. And
yes, I can see your slides now.
and let's put the whole full screen mode. Okay, so the idea today is to build your own diversity and inclusion change agent plan. So the whole topic of ScanAgile was to be a change agent, and now we want to promote agency in the field of diversity and inclusion. But let's do a round of introductions first.
Hi everybody, my name is Vivi Brook. I'm from Finders Seekers, and I work with employer branding, employee experiences, and I've also been very active in the D&I space in Finland for the past few years. I've been a part of Girls in Tech Helsinki, as well as working on the diversity steering group at Zalando when I was there, as well as working with Solita and starting up our IT-Clusive organization.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alena. I'm a competence lead and full stack developer at Sanema Pro. I've been interested in the topic for the last few years, and I wrote my master thesis a bit about it, and I'm myself a change agent, and I try to bring the change everywhere I come.
Hi, I'm Marja Silvennoinen. I'm a designer at Reactor, and I have studied the past years equality themes and inclusivity, and I try to incorporate that in my design work and also the ways of working.
Yeah. And I'm Matti Kiviluoto. I'm a team builder here at Siili, and my history is with 10 years back working with our team, building diversity in with inclusion, and building a team of with a gender distribution of 40-60% and 10 different nationalities. So an activist also in the IT-Clusive network. Okay, so let's take a look at today's workshop. So first we're going to do a little introduction, and then Alena is going to run a warm-up exercise. And after that, we'll distribute ourselves into groups so that we can work on our own change agent plans. We'll do a 15-minute exercise, then we'll come back to Remo and take a look at the canvas that we're going to use, and what we can use then during the break when we continue working in groups.
And as the whole event, we follow the safe space principles. So we hope everyone is very open to others' opinions and use nonviolent communication.
So what do we mean by diversity and inclusion? Well, unfortunately, we don't have time to go into the full discussion right now, but what it is important is that we would like you to have a chance to read through this page. It kind of gives you a description. I think the main takeaway that you should take from this is that diversity is extremely important, but it's nothing without inclusion, and inclusion is diversity in action. So take a minute, read through, kind of get yourselves into the right mood.
And let me disturb a little bit. I want to thank Inclusive, the #1 diversity and inclusion NGO in Finland, that we've had the pleasure of having Sara Salmani from Inclusive working with us to plan this event. Sadly, she could not make it as a facilitator, but want to acknowledge both Inclusive and Sara's contribution. Okay, sorry, we need to move forward.
Yeah, so let's do a small warm-up exercise. You will see the team of, it's a real team, and you need to guess their titles, their job titles. They're all different age, and they come from different countries, so maybe let's try. And you On the left, you see the picture. There's a number next to each person, and on the right, you see the titles they could have. Of course, we have more titles than there are people, so be aware about it, and some titles could also repeat. So just familiarize yourself with the right side. And now let's take a look at person number 1. It's Evgenia. She is 38 years old. And you can write just a number to the chat what you think she is, if she's a marketing specialist, or is she tech lead, or is she designer, office assistant. Just put the number into chat. Or you also don't need to put it. You could also just think for yourself. You don't need to think long, because you don't have any prerequisites to think about it, just what she looks like.
And by the way, we cannot see the chat at the moment, so we're going to just trust that you'll be putting a lot of numbers in the chat as we speak.
Yeah.
So
Evgenia's current role is a team lead. Let's now look at the person number 4. It's Tony. He's 39 years old, the one in a blue shirt. What do you think he is? If you think he's project manager, you could put 3. If it's front-end developer, 7. 10 for HR manager, or just think to yourself, what do you think? And Tony is a project manager. So maybe number 5, this is Aisha. She's 29-year-old. What do you think she could be? And she's also project manager. Then number 6, Mikhail. He wears this gray suit. He's 42. What do you think he could do? And he's a backend developer. And the last person, number 7, a woman in a black suit. What do you think she could do if she's a marketing specialist, or accountant, or designer, HR manager? She is in fact a front-end developer on the team. So that was a little warm-up just to set ourselves into the workshop and understand that sometimes what we think about people, about their age and how they look like, the gender, it doesn't always say who they are. And it's very, very hard, because assuming all of this comes from stereotypes, and it's very normal for our brain to do that, but we also should be aware that we shouldn't stereotype people just so easily. Thank you.
Okay, I hope you had a lot of fun with this bingo. I'm now going to also let Alena go to another room, because we're going to split in 4 groups. 3 groups will be in separate rooms where you have more privacy. So if you want to be in a private group, then you should click on the Zoom link that should appear in the chat very soon. But if you want to join me here on stage, then I would please ask you to actually raise your hand. Use the remote tool. Let me just quit my session here, and so that I can see what's happening. So do we have the Zoom link here available for everyone? Yes, we do. Thank you, Jenny. And now, for those brave people that would like to join here on the public group, so please raise your hand. I think there's a hand raising option somewhere in the remote tools, or if not, then just use the chat, whichever is more convenient for you. And we're already getting people joined in, so happy. Excellent. Welcome. You're so welcome. Hey.
Hi.
Whoa, Jenny, thank you.
Hey, no. We have so much people to volunteer here, so I'm just asking how many people we can get here.
Let's do 5 persons.
5 persons. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm so proud of
Still
you.
1. I go away. Okay.
We have room for 1 more. Okay. Excellent. So welcome everyone to this team, and welcome also to the spectators, because that's also an option to just watch and learn. So I hope everyone here in the group has a piece of paper and a pen available. If you're not a pencil and paper person, then use your laptop or whatever device you want to use. So I'll give you now 5 minutes for the first exercise. So think about the topics that interest you in diversity and inclusion, where you would want to see things happen. So now open your minds. You can come up with 20 or 10 or 5 or how many ideas as you want. Don't worry at this point how easy it would be to achieve it, or how hard, or would it even be possible for you, or whatever. Just like use the following 5 minutes to just write down ideas. The more the merrier. So I'm just going to give you 5 minutes. 4 left. The idea is to come up with a lot of ideas at this point, and then we'll share and see then which of those feel such that you would be happy to continue working on them. But now no restrictions, and we can also steal from each other. The best ideas are often stolen from someone else. So this is sharing is caring. Three minutes to go. Everything you ever dreamed of changing in the world. Now's your chance. And this is not a competition. There's no right answer. So idea is to be very personal, because the whole idea is to build a personal change agent plan. 2 more minutes to go. Looks like people are actually writing something, so very positive. And it doesn't, I mean, it's good if you have a lot of alternatives, but it's not a must. So but just keep on writing. 1 more minute to go, and then we'll start sharing the ideas. Now, suddenly, for me, the time is not running fast anymore. The whole morning has been just one big hassle getting everything ready, but finally, it's my Zen moment here, waiting for you to write things down.
And to me, it sounded like the fastest 5 minutes ever.
Probably, yeah. This is the relativity of time in action.
Yeah.
And even though we're not even going nearly at the speed of light, still we're experiencing the relativity of time.
Yeah, so I suppose it evens up as a big picture, since my morning was quite easy. And if you were in a hurry,
yeah.
So now we are even. It's fair, right?
Yeah, at least we're even. Yeah, it's fair. A few more seconds to go. Who would want to go first? Anyone ready? Mikko, maybe since you have your microphone open, maybe you could take the floor first and read a couple of ideas that you have written and tell a little bit about them, like why did they come into mind?
Well, I don't know if I'm touching the subject kind of close enough to earth, but as a parent for 2 girls, I would like to help the world to make girls a or world a better place for girls in general. So meaning that they are not forced into red collar and girly stuff because of their gender, but they would have equal opportunities to anyone else, as I say that people are people. We are not men or women or weightlifters or coders. We can be whatever we want to as the well, okay, I started to rant already. Then
it's totally okay.
Few kind of a big picture things also, equal working and learning opportunities for people. Those are something I like to try to at least kind of important for me at least. A good example from my kids is that the older one who's growing a bit over 10 now, and she was actually asking one day that, Daddy, can I actually be a doctor someday? So meaning the expectation was that for some reason she couldn't. And there was quite a lot of discussion after that okay, you can be whatever you want to, as we have huge variance of opportunities, especially here in Finland, as I'd say that no one is more or less limited, hopefully at least, by anything. But you asked for two small ones came to my mind first.
These are wonderful ideas. They're very, very global and very nice in line with the Day of the Girl theme from last weekend as well. Okay, who wants to go next?
Yeah.
Minna.
I can go next. First thing that came to my mind is the gender diversity. So that usually when we are talking about this, mostly people bring up that for example, to bring up women in technology, but not everyone identifies that they are a woman or a man. So bringing that up also is personally a big deal to help different kind of people. And another thing that came to my mind is about the relationships that people have. We usually assume that people are either not in a relationship or in a relationship with the one person, even married. But there are also different kinds of aspects that there are even different kind of families that are not just consisting two parents or that the family's children might be shared with the other families. So these are some things that came to my mind.
That's very nice, getting a new viewpoint to the discussion as well. Yeah. Okay, who wants to continue?
Can go next.
Go ahead.
I'm Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi. Nice to see you all. I was thinking about cultural diversity because that's close to my heart. I worked abroad and came back to Finland about 3 years ago, and I really hope to see more diverse and inclusive Finland, where cultural diversity in work communities is seen as an asset, a real asset. And I have a feeling that we are not yet there, but I'm happy to see that there are many, many people who are working for this now. So that's nice to see. And then I was also thinking, like, for me, diversity is really about equal opportunities and social justice. And I want to see a Finland where anyone can realize their full potential, despite all these stereotypes or gender roles, traditional things or prejudices that we have. Discrimination is real, as we know. And also in higher education institutions, because I work in a University of Applied Sciences, I want to see more diverse students and staff, teams and international study programs. So these are the things that came into my mind.
Wonderful. It's always good if you can tie it to your work, because then it makes it easier to implement in real life. Okay, who wants to go next? Elena, maybe? You want to try?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I thought to age, to education and financial status. That could be some areas that at least I'm from Romania, and here we can do more in these areas, and also even in my workplace.
That's very, very important. I'm really glad that the topic of also the kind of like financial means comes into discussion, because it's something that people don't typically want to talk about, because it's very stigmatic for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Anssi, do you want to share your thoughts? We can't hear you. Can you check that you have your...
Oh, sorry.
Now we hear you loud and clear. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I have to physically turn on my microphone as well. Yeah, I had a kind of overlapping ideas with Laura about cultural diversity, but not only limited to that we should be more open to different kind of people, differences between persons and so on, and try not to judge people because being different, but trying to see the opportunities that what we can get from those. So when we are building teams, we try to find a perfect match that we should have different kinds of people who support each other's skills and maybe missing skills, so they would in overall be much better team as a whole entity. And yeah, that's mainly it. So trying not to judge, but see the opportunities that what we can get from different kind of persons.
Excellent points, and it's actually, this is everyone we can even all work on the same topic. So let's not worry about if someone else is interested in same things, because it's just more opportunities to drive the whole thing. Now, what I want you to do is get a little bit closer to ground. To be honest, I don't think that we're able as individuals to change the world. So let's think about things that we can do within our team, within our company, or at largest in the IT industry here in Finland. But even I would consider those ideas that are industry level, that then you would have to think about getting a little bit more people involved. So if possible, think about just for 1 minute or two about your ideas, and how could you incorporate that into your teamwork or into your work in an institution or organization or company where you work. So let's do a little refinement on the ideas, but just a very short while, because we have a very limited time. Let's get a little bit closer to ground, so to speak, because we actually want actionable ideas at the end. But it's really important that first you really let it all out. I mean, this is important for me, and yes, I mean, it's not naive. It's actually very compassionate to say that I want to give opportunities to all the girls in the world, or everyone in the world needs to have good financial means and equal opportunities for example, education. These are like totally okay objectives, but I think that those are better to do in a way that you join an NGO or some other group of people. Is anyone ready already? Because we're kind of pressed with time. Want to share how this topic would translate? Taru, are you ready?
Yeah, I can start. Because
now you muted yourself. Yes. Now. Please continue. Now we hear you.
I was thinking, I didn't share my idea about this.
Sorry. So many. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to this team because I'm very interested to share this topic in my company. We have this diversity group, and I recognize that our discussion is going too far in this gender equality issues and this kind of thing. And I would like to have a more this kind of discussion about different people, and without going to disc analysis, personality analysis, more of talking about like that we have different backgrounds and we have different needs and we work together for same purpose, and how to actually have these all different kind of people together for same kind of goals. And I think that this is the one quite important in this kind of diversity discussion, that we don't care about that how people actually live their life in private. I mean that kind of have what kind of status they have and what is the sexual orientation or this kind of thing. It doesn't really matter, but we kind of try to learn to listen others. And why I would like to have a little bit deeper dive discussion with our group in company related how we can handle this kind of different people in the group and team and collaborate better. And I think that is question about preparing this kind of like tribe meetings. We have a tribes, for example, and have a more deep dive in this topic. And also, of course, kind of social different kind of channels for sharing ideas, but sometimes it's very difficult to go deeper in these channels. Why we need a session together and try to have a different opinions about this thing. But yeah, but it's related to this kind of little bit narrow discussion about diversity. I would like to reach it somehow.
Yeah. But you have also had very nice, like concrete ideas of like taking the discussion into your tribe meetings and sharing ideas over different channels. So very concrete as well. So who would like to continue with this bit more concrete ideas? Minna, go ahead.
Yeah, with for the gender diversity, I was thinking about that. Just sometimes it's having the box for filling out what gender you are. Is it really mandatory? Why do you need to ask that from the user? Think about these sort of things, and if you need to ask that from the user for some specific purpose, have a possibility for the user to fill what they ever want there to be. That's
very concrete. Yeah, very nice idea. Okay, who wants to go next? Show of hands or something. Okay, Laura, go ahead.
Okay. Thinking about this cultural diversity, even though it's wonderful that it's all these different perspectives, but concrete steps. I was actually taking one last week because you have to practice what you preach. So I decided to invite one international talent in our study program as a guest lecturer instead of doing it on my own. So I think networking and just really including international work in a way you can, it's a key. And hi Priyanka, actually it happens to be International Working Women of Finland, one of the active members that will participate in our course. So that's just one of these things, to just network and include people in your daily work.
Excellent, very, very doable, very concrete. Who wants to continue? Elena?
Yeah, I can continue. I don't know how to implement this in my team. I'm part of an Agile coaches team regarding the age and the education. But I think we can do something with our HR. We have maybe no age now, but education is always mandatory in any job requirement or job post. So maybe in this direction we can do more, and to have hiring more on competencies and not on education. Of course, not on age at all, but this I find it a little bit more difficult. But I think we can do something in this direction with our HR, not to restrict job availability only to some certain types of educations like university or other schools. Thank you.
Excellent point, because you already went to the kind of like next level, because before moving, we're still going to listen to Anssi and Mikko. I haven't forgotten about you, but I just want to kind of really highlight this thing that one thing is that you shouldn't do this alone. So find the allies, find people that can support you. So here, excellent point from Elena, like finding, for example, someone from your HR or whatever friends in your organization that can help. So that's wonderful. So maybe Mikko, do you want to continue?
I'm trying to unmute myself. So
yeah,
I'll just fluently jump to a bit different topic than I mentioned
not
previously, because I have that's the area that I have got kind of an opportunity to actually make an effect within our company, at least. So as an example, I recruited 25 persons last year, and I think 2 or 3 were originally born from Finland, so basically from all around the world, which is great. I think diversity is a strength in general, and in order for us to be working as a whole team and getting everyone flourishing within the working environment, psychological safety is one of the key topics that we have to emphasize within the company. And that's something that I've been trying to push throughout the management level, and then kind of helping my colleague managers to emphasize this in their work, and basically trying to treat people equally, making a conscious effort or effort on that, having an open discussion, everyone's or opinions are appreciated, and open and an honest discussion, kind of a fair discussion in a way, so that no one is being pushed down or lifted up without kind of based on title or something, any other feature that is actually not affected by the actual discussion. And when we try to implement all the suggestions that we get throughout the company and teams, and it's kind of a person-driven mentality in a way that people would be able to affect their daily life the most. So
yeah, that's very.
If you
sorry
can
to interrupt, we're really close with really short with time. Yeah. So I really want to emphasize that you are actually already acting as a change agent, because if you are in a position where you do, for example, recruitment, then you already are a change agent. So you should really use your big powers very well for the common good. So and I'm really seeing that you're doing something very right there, Mikko. Really big thumbs up for you. But let's hear it also from Anssi.
Yeah, actually, I have again quite similar story than someone else, but now it was Mikko. I have been building my own teams already for a long time, and we had about 30 people in our R&D, and 4 of them were Finnish. So we had very many foreigners there with very different backgrounds, and we didn't really care about the education so much, but the skills and the mindset what they had. They were the most important things there. And to add something to Mikko's story is that we try to be as transparent on everything as possible, just to make sure that everybody understands that what we are doing and why this is a good idea, and why these people are needed on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's really a key point also, so that everyone is on the same page, and it also helps when you're acting as a change agent within your company, this transparency, so that others also can see what you're doing, and the practices are open for everyone, and there's no surprises. And actually, that's already a very good next step for what I would really like to see from you working on with recruitment, is that how can you spread these practices all over your organization. So now we'll have to kind of take a little pause here. My colleagues are back, so please take your seats. We'll do a little wrap up together now, and then we'll take a look at the canvas that we've prepared, and then we can continue after the break also in this session. Actually, we're not going to be on here on the stage, but you can join my table once the official part is over, and we can continue the discussion there. I'll just move back to the presentation just a sec. Thank you, everyone. But let's continue very soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
So nice having you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your brave sharings. Okay. Let's move forward. All right. So I'll just go to the right slide. Oh, yeah. Vivi, can you tell a little bit what happened in your group?
No,
a lot happened.
A lot happened. We had some technical challenges,
Yeah.
which we overcame swiftly.
Excellent.
Sort of. But we had a really good conversation with everyone there. We had a nice group of people. We were talking a lot about the different kinds of challenges that they face at different organizations, and also what are the things that they would like to target specifically. And maybe Maria, she was doing a lot of the writing, so and I was trying to figure out the technical parts. So Maria maybe has a little bit more insight.
Well, there were very specific goals to have more people from other countries than Finland in organizations, or more females in IT field. And then we again face the same problems, that even if we want to hire them, we don't have them available. So the change must start from earlier, from the age where people choose their professions.
Yeah, I think that's also from my own experience. I've been meeting some like young women, for example, and they study different things and they don't always know that they can do IT. And I think if you cannot find somebody like who would come to say like, come, like I will come and I will work for you, you should start inviting people like, why don't you learn this? Like, for example, now I have this team of 3 young women and we are doing some web development. And I know from experience that it's very hard to apply, because you always think I'm not good enough, I don't know enough. And even if you know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, you still think I never had a job, probably I'm very bad. So they're not going to come to you. You need to invite them to come.
Yeah, the
You need to look for you,
No.
you need to encourage them, and you need to say that, yes, you will succeed in this.
No.
And there was also one good example of diversities being the situation where everyone has a seat at the table, and then the inclusion is that everyone has a voice at that table.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good comparison.
Very, very beautiful. We touched like topics like with such variety that I don't know how to kind of like, we talked about global issues like referring to the Day of the Girl. How could girls feel that they have like an opportunity to do whatever they want? And then we talked about like how financial means affect people's abilities to, for example, access to education, etc. We talked a lot about education. We had good discussions about that, how it could be made more diverse. Then we talked about not only being binary, like having taking into account men and women, but also have a non-binary option, like not having to choose a binary gender when at every point when it's not like really necessary. Then we were lucky to have a couple of recruiters there who talked about their experiences and how they managed to put forth a strategy where they could hire a lot of international talent. And I'm really looking forward to these people sharing it within their organizations and spreading the good practices. And transparency was mentioned, really key for example, in inclusion, that everything is transparent. And there were a lot of concrete ideas already. We had a little bit more time than you had, so we already like there were like concrete ideas that someone said that they could organize a session within their tribe to talk about these issues or etc. And then one more thing I like to add that we also touched the topic of getting allies and support, which is really important because you shouldn't be doing this on your own. So let's introduce the change agent canvas. I hope that the organizers can share the PDF now, if it's possible, if it's not been shared already. But there's this very simple canvas. It's nothing fancy. It looks slightly different than this one. This one's like a version 0.1 or something like that. But just going to quickly run through. This is kind of like an imaginary canvas for when we started working on the IT inclusive network. So we're thinking of like what do we want to do? So we tried to formalize the target. So we wanted to do a grassroots like movement so that we will not be like working on our own. And then we were thinking about how could we sell the idea to others as well, think about the reasoning, and came up with a couple of ideas what could help this task. And then we were thinking also of concrete actions to do to achieve the goal, the target. And as mentioned, it's really important to get support. You shouldn't do this on your own. So find support, find whoever you can to help you. But it's also, since we're doing a personal change agent canvas, it's also really important to crystallize to yourself what's in it for me personally. So what's my personal viewpoint? And then, of course, we still have a lot of. We have also schedule or target group, different versions in the whole canvas for the last bottom right corner. But still, it's important to think about the target group. It's also important to think about the schedule, what to do, like immediately, what in a few weeks, etc. Now the idea is that we're going to share another Zoom link just to make things more complicated. And those that were participating in the Zoom, please continue with the other Zoom link. And those who were on the stage with me, please join my table after Aisha shortly is going to give a little talk about Siili and how agility is happening at Siili. So now we'd like to thank everyone for joining so far, but please don't go away. Continue very shortly, but I already thank the organizers for letting us do the workshop.
Thank you so much. Please join us in Zoom.
Yeah. And the organizers, can you please take Aisha to the stage? Excuse me.
Should I on my camera?
Yeah, you should.
Hello everyone. I hope that you can hear me.
Yes.
Good. I will share my screen. So hello everyone. I am Aisha from Siili Solutions. I am project manager and Scrum Master. And before I start, I would like to say a big thank you to Siili for organizing such a great event of ScanAgile. And with this, I would like to share that Siili has an active Agile community. And here we work with an Agile first mindset. Siili has structures that promotes agility, like tribes and guilds, and we share knowledge, learnings, and our experiences. Siili Academy offers free of charge services for all Siili employees, and you can certify for Scrum Master, Scrum Product Owner, Safe Agilist, and more. Competence development practices during the working hours. Siili offers coaching to its employees, Siili offers both local and international work opportunities with very competitive salary. Siili is an inclusive workplace where everyone is respected as they are. Siili is a carbon neutral company and we work in a sustainable way. Thank you so much.